Support for Radio Friends comes from La Brunerie Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact La Brunerie Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Learn more at labrunerie.com or by calling 573-449-5313.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, April the 8th. Good to have you with us today. We've got an interesting topic today. I want to introduce you to Dr. Sue and Dr. Zarek from MU Healthcare. We are going to talk about a new way of helping couples conceive a child who have not been able to do so in the past. You want to tell us about that?
One of the main ways that we now help couples is with something called in vitro fertilization, or IVF. And at MU Healthcare, Dr. Sue and I are here to help build that program, which is actually a technology that's about 40 years old. So it's not brand new, but in terms of the life and science and art of medicine, it is fairly new.
A lot of people may not be aware of how this works. Explain.
So in vitro fertilization is when we harvest the woman's eggs and actually mix the egg and the sperm outside of the body. So that's what in vitro refers to.
Okay, you harvest the egg and the sperm, and then you have a term that you call that. Did you call that date night?
I did call it date night. So date night happens in the laboratory.
Yeah. And then what happens?
Well, that fertilized egg is now called an embryo, and we've got excellent embryologists who help us grow those embryos, and it's usually more than one.
So the embryos are growing in a test tube in the laboratory.
That's right. So it's a petri dish now. But originally they were called test tube babies, which was, 40 years ago, 1978. The first test tube baby was born in the UK, actually.
What happens then? How long do you continue growing the embryos?
Generally for about 6 days. Would you say so, Dr. Sue?
Yes. Then what happens, Dr. Sue?
At that point, we have pretty good information about how the embryos are growing. And the quote-unquote best-looking embryos are picked by the embryologists, and then we do an embryo transfer back into the woman. So we place the embryo back into the womb of the woman using a little catheter. We do this under ultrasound guidance, and then we give some hormones to support pregnancy, and we have pretty good success rates doing this.
So date night normally happens in the woman's fallopian tube. And so this technology started for women's tubes who were blocked. There was no meeting place. And so from there, we found that laboratory is a nice way to help those couples.
How many couples have you helped so far?
Hundreds.
Yes, and worldwide there have been over 7 million children who have been born as a result of this technology.
And if it were not for this technology, these couples would not be able to have children.
That's right. So for us, it's an incredible tool for us to help families have children.
Yes. Personally, how do you feel about it?
I feel wonderful. I love babies, and I love helping couples with that. So before, our tools were pretty limited, and so the success rates at best with the previous tools were maybe about 10%. And now with in vitro fertilization, it's not 100%, but now our success rates are somewhere between 65 to 75%.
Okay, if people want more information, Dr. Sue, what do they do?
We encourage them to contact us. We have a website, the MU Center for
Reproductive Medicine and Fertility, and you can find all of that at muhealth.org.
Thank you both very much for coming by. We could have spent the whole segment on this.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, now I want to introduce you to Heather Lamb from Vox Magazine. Good to have you here, Heather.
Good to be here.
You want to talk about farm to table.
I do.
What is that?
So it's a farm-to-table dinner event called Columbia Grown, and it is the second year that Vox is putting on an event. And so
so Vox itself is putting this event on.
Yes.
Besides doing a story about it.
Exactly. So we're getting involved in kind of the event business. This is something that magazines are starting to do more of, and as a way of bringing people kind of into the experience and creating some community. So last year we kind of brainstormed what kind of event would make sense for us. Food is a very popular topic in a city magazine,
we
and
all
certainly
need
for VOC.
food to survive,
We all
right?
eat, right? So we thought, what better way to capture that kind of community sentiment than let's bring some of our local farmers together with local chefs and put on a dinner event. So so last year was our first one.
How'd it go?
It went amazing. It was fun, and we had the chefs intermingling with farmers who had I was sitting across the table from a couple who owned a farm, and they were serving a dish, and they're like, that's our kale in the dish, and it was just really a great community event.
So how many different farmers do you team up with?
It varies from year to year, and we're actually in the process of figuring that out right now because the menu is just about finalized. We are still a few weeks away from the event, and so we're waiting to see.
Can you give us an idea of what's on the menu?
Well, it's a 4-course dinner. And I don't even know what's on the menu yet. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll let some things out as little surprises. But I think that's one of the things that I discovered that was so fun about the event last year is that you kind of knew you knew there was going to be a 4-course dinner. We have wine and beer pairings with the courses. But you're putting the evening kind of in the hands of these talented chefs that we work with, and what are they going to come up with?
Yeah.
And
well, you can be sure that it's going to be good.
it's going to be delicious.
Where is it going to be?
Yeah. So the event is going to be at Cafe Berlin. And we're working with a team of 5 chefs, actually. And so Jess Bowman, who's the head chef at Cafe Berlin, but also Shelley LaFata, who has a pop-up business, Sidebar, and then also Amanda Elliott, who runs Rustic Suppers, Melissa Poling, who used to be the pastry chef at 44 Stone. She's since moved to Kansas City, but she's coming back for the event, and she was one of our chefs last year. And then we also have Maggie Legendecker, who's from Bijou Chocolates, and she made these delicious little chocolates last year for a dessert bar.
And then all of the food will be coming locally, correct?
Yes, yep. Yeah, so we'll be pairing up with local producers to provide what we need, everything from the chicken or poultry, if we're doing that, any local beef, salads, all of that kind of thing.
That sounds wonderful. So how can people get tickets?
So 2 ways to get tickets. So you can go to the Vox website, so voxmagazine.com, and look for a link on the website. We're also partnering with Root Cellar this year, and so you could actually go into Root Cellar and just buy your tickets there as well. And Root Cellar is actually going to be the location we have a VIP hour that's happening before the dinner, and so they're going to be hosting that, and there will be, some meetings with farmers and that kind of thing. So
sounds wonderful.
And by the way, April 25th is the date. So.
April 25th, and we have a wonderful evening of good local food.
Absolutely.
Okay, because of Vox Magazine. Thank you so much, Heather, for coming by. And look for Vox Magazine. It's a great magazine. Bye-bye.